Alright, we're getting ready to make some German pickles. I'm going to take some cucumbers that we grow in the garden. These are, got a whole bunch. These are Boston Picklers. I have a whole bunch that I grew in my garden. Some of them I grew too long. Some of them I didn't grow long enough. We're going to make a couple different kinds of pickles. You need 8 mason jars, some spices, some vinegar, some water. We'll show you the next step. I got about 2 or 3 pounds of these. A friend of mine gave me. I don't even know what they're called. If you've never had a Hengstenberg pickle, you've probably never had a real good pickle in your life. It's really good. You should check it out. I'm gonna make whole pickles, spears, and hamburger slices. All with the same recipe. Check it out. Alright, so we're going to measure out our pickling spice. I'm going to put it in this bowl here. We're going to make more than what we need. So we're going to start out with, now you can measure it or you could weigh it. It's 20 grams of brown mustard seed, 20 grams of yellow mustard seed, which 20 grams of either or mustard seeds is 1/8 of a cup, or 2 tablespoons. So 2 tablespoons of brown, 2 tablespoons of yellow. Next, we need 20 grams of coriander seeds. But coriander seeds are not as heavy, or not as dense, so they take up a lot more room. So if you're going to use a measuring cup, 1/4 cup instead of 1/8 a cup, because they're really light, they're really airy. They're not as dense as mustard seeds. So what we have so far, 20 grams, 20 grams, 20 grams. Yellow mustard seeds, brown mustard seeds, whole coriander seeds. Next, we're going on to black pepper. Now, let me break this down before we go on one more time. 2 tablespoons, 2 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons coriander. Now, 10 grams or 1 heaping tablespoon of whole black pepper. 1 heaping tablespoon. It's the best way I know how to measure it. 8 grams of fennel seed, or a heaping tablespoon of fennel seed, whichever you got. It's either 8 grams or a heaping tablespoon. 10 grams of dill seeds, or 1.5 tablespoons. These are 3 other things that we're going to add, but we're going to put them per jar, because if you get too many in one jar, it's going to taste like shit because they're overpowering. Alright, you want to put 3 cloves per each jar. It's 3 whole cloves. I'm going to do 1. 2 juniper berries per each jar. 2 allspice berries. Per each jar. You want to get our spice mix we made. Put 2 tablespoons each jar. Do that to all your jars, and then cram as many cucumbers as you can. I don't care if they're whole, sliced, spare. Just fill them up, and then we'll do our we'll make our pickle juice. If you do it just right, then that bowl where we made our mixed pickling spice, you got just enough to do all 8 jars. You cut that recipe in half and do 4 if you want. A big old stock pot. You want to get 16 cups of spring water, 4 cups of vinegar, of white distilled vinegar, 8 tablespoons of sugar, and 20 tablespoons of salt. Stir it up. Then you want to get this, put this on some heat and get it boiling. Once it's boiling, you want to fill your jars. Before you fill your jars, we'll show you, we'll put some cucumbers in them, and we'll put some dill in them. Alright, in each jar, you're going to want to a piece of dill, fold it in half, shove it down in there, and you want to pack it full of cucumbers. Probably put some sliced ones right here or something. I'll mix them, I don't care. I'll pack them plumb full. Once you get them all full, let's see. Let's do another one for you. Some dill in there. Put a little more. Some cucumbers in there. That one's only a 3-fer. Do it like that. We'll get our juice going. We'll fill them up, and we'll. I don't worry too much about sanitizing them. A lot of people do that. They overcook everything, turn their pickles into mush. I'm not too worried about it. If I look at a jar and it's black, then I know it got contaminated and I'll throw it away. I don't want to eat overcooked pickles that are gushy and gross. I've never had an issue with it as far as that bacteria goes. I keep everything clean. I wash all these jars, and then I'll put boiling hot liquid in them. I think that's good enough. We'll show you the next step. One other thing I almost forgot is you want to put all these lids in a pan, put some water in there, and get that good and hot. That way you kill the bacteria that's on them. Alright, I come up a little short on one jar. So I got these jalapenos laying around. Might as well pickle them. Put them in there just like that. It's good enough for me. I ain't gonna slice them. I ain't gonna remove the seeds. You can find a number of things to use if you ever run short. You can put little baby onions in there. You put cauliflower, a mixture of things. It's always going to be good regardless. That's it. We'll come back to the next step. Alright, you get your pot of vinegar. Get your pot of vinegar almost boiling. You get these boiling. You want to fill this jar up. I got this bowl here in case I spill over, because you want to fill it to where it's overflowing. Some people preheat them. They preheat their jars. Man, I don't do none of that shit. Easy peasy. I fill that shit full. I overflow it. Well, if there's a chance of any type of bacteria, it gets killed. Fill that full to the brim. Boom. Ooh, them are hot. Get a fork. A spoon, not a fork. Put that on there. Press it down. Seal it tight. Look at that. That's a jar of pickles. Flip it over. Let it sit. And it will seal. Do that to all of them. Do some of these ones. Pickles. Best pickles you're ever going to eat in your life. Won't overflow it. Take it all the way to the rim. Look at that. No bacteria. Ooh, that's hot. Seal it. That good and tight. Flip her upside down. Wow. All right, so they all sealed except for one. I think a seed got on the rim and I didn't see it, but you want to wipe the rims off. What you could do with this one that didn't seal, you can open it, redo it, put it inside a pot of boiling water for, you know, a little bit. Or you could just take this in one jar and make refrigerator pickles. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this jar in the fridge. 2 weeks, there'll be pickles. The rest of them, they're good to go. They all sealed. You do this about 3 times in a summer if you got a garden, and you won't have to buy pickles for 3 years. I don't know. It depends how many kids you got also and how much they like pickles. But I do it about 3 times this summer, and I'll have enough pickles to last about 3 years.